shared, he kind of talked about, I guess, results that he in neurological issues like dementia and Alzheimer's. And so I hear have a little insight into that. So I was just kind of curious to hear your perspective and what you see along those lines.
Okay, I'm getting just a little bit of it, but it's something about neurological, and you're wondering thoughts about neurological issues. Is that correct?
Yeah, neurological, more specifically like dementia and Alzheimer's. Like what have you seen along those lines?
Well, it's pretty much a direct route. There is a spectacular 5-minute video available, and you can find it on YouTube. And you're looking for 3 words, which are mercury, brain, and neuron. And you'll actually see what elemental mercury does to the tiniest nerves in the brain, which is to dissolve the insulation on the nerves. There's a nerve body in the brain, and then it's going to reach out with axons and dendrites. Both of those together are called neurites, and that's how it reaches out and makes connection with its neighboring nerves and creates, our web of thoughts. And it's very interesting to see that to the degree we are toxic with mercury specifically, that mercury will actually go to the attaching points of the proteins that are the insulation on there. Think about a piece of wire with plastic on it. The plastic part's going to come off. In that case, it's a protein called tubulin. And the reason it comes off is that mercury goes to, I don't know if you want to know this, but it goes to the guanosine triphosphate attaching point and blocks it. So it's like a little girl's pop beads hooking together one to the other, end to end like that. And the place where it's supposed to pop in gets plugged up with the mercury. And it's interesting to note that, number one, the lesions from mercury in the brain look exactly like those from Alzheimer's, and that protein that doesn't get assembled to make anything looks like a stack of bricks at a construction site that are just all torn up and scrambled up, could easily explain the plaque that accumulates in an Alzheimer's brain. So now you're wondering, if you can prevent it, can you back out of it once you're in? And that's the strange thing about working with natural products. When you are able to demonstrate that it's good for you and that you can keep people from walking up to the cliff by using it, then they wonder, okay, well, what if you're already over the cliff? Can you come back up on the top? And I always think I didn't know that when I first started out, but it's going to be beneficial. And I have met people who have astonishing stories. The first one of those that I ever met was kind of the opposite of me. He was a small guy. I also coach springboard diving, but I'm so big that it takes me forever to make a flip and a half. This guy was the 1950 Olympian gold medalist in springboard diving. And I met him because of zeolite. I mean, this will take you to the coolest places. And I just went to one of the very first functions with people who knew about this, and he was telling his story, and it was that his wife, who he dearly loved, had gradually diminished in mental capacity, and just got to the point that she'd leave the house and run into the garage and not know that she'd done it. And then it got to the point that she left and couldn't find her way home. And it got to be such a threat. I mean, he dearly loved her, took care of her the best he could. And it got to the point that she had to go to an institution, and eventually she didn't realize it was him that was coming to visit her. And came across this, and he thought, who knows, maybe, I mean, none of us knew at that time, maybe it'll help. And so he began, offering help to her. The people taking care of her didn't know what to think of it until she started getting better. And then they also tried to make sure that she got it several times a day, whether or not he could be there. Then I'll be doggone if she didn't recognize him and wasn't happy to see him and didn't love him again and didn't find her way back. And the ultimate punchline got her driver's license back. So if you can top that story, I'm ready to hear it.
Wow.
It's reproducible. These things actually do happen. It's not like it happened once in a million times. It's like my wife's story. I love what she says. Turns out that it's an exceptional story. Marcy's is 9 years now, since she was laying on the floor and couldn't get up in so much misery, and now it's 9 years later. She's upstairs on the phone working, and she says my story is exceptional. Yeah, no doubt about that. Turns out it wasn't the exception. When we reached out to other people, that happened for them also. And so I want you to be confident as you reach out, and I want you to be confident that you understand the things that are in your hands, and that the miracles aren't going to quit just because it's you that has them now. It's going to continue. I remember very first time I got on an interaction with the bond people, and I could probably say that to you guys right now. I am speaking to you from the planet that you're flying to, and it's a pretty amazing journey. So there's a few thoughts on that topic.
So, and to be clear, because zeolite attracts heavy metals is one of the major things. That's why getting the mercury out is why, or other heavy metals is kind of why.
Yep.
Right.
It's always all about that. I mean, we talk about all these neat things that happen, Aisha, and what the explanation is always the same, and that is that there was something there hurting you. You swallow this. Very next time you go to the bathroom, you pee a little bit of it out. Each time thereafter that you use the product, same thing, and you eventually get to the point that you're running clean, and that clears up all the things that we speak about that go right. And so there you go. Yeah, you're exactly right. And every metal, a great way to learn about this, just number one, look at to me, the definitive study that says urinary excretion of heavy metals increases in the presence of Rick's product. And then after that, you just go look at each heavy metal and how it hurts you. Mercury, cadmium, lead, arsenic. These are the kind of things that assassins use to kill people, because it screws you up in so many ways that by the time you get to a medical professional, they can't tell what's going on, and you're just a house of cards falling apart because everything's getting bad. And gradually, that's happening to everybody on this industrialized planet right now. And some of us stand it better than others, or we avoid it a little better than others, but we've never had a form of hygiene that was like we could take a shower on the inside each day and intentionally wash those things away. Before, they were stuck so tightly in us that we could not get them out. And the beauty to help you understand, so you can the same reason the poisons get stuck in us, namely that they're small and they're very strongly charged, like itty bitty super strong magnets, is the same reason they get stuck in the zeolite cage and then become near neutral in charge, very safe and easy for the kidneys to sort out, and then they leave you in your urine, and that's how it goes. So the answer is always yes. No matter what the problem is, you're going to be more alive, less likely positively charged. It's going to take it out, and it's a poison that'll take it out. If it is positively charged but biologically active, the hierarchy of affinity, it won't take out your beneficial electrolytes and metals. So you don't have to worry about that. But the interesting thing is, with those poisonous pressures off of your system, your excretory organs, which include certainly your bowels, your liver, your kidneys, even your lungs and your skin, those are all excretory organs, are going to have less impossible work to do and go back to the metabolic work of the day, and you're just going to return to the unlimited version of yourself. So that's how that goes. So I hope that helps you to understand and be confident that you know that when you reach out to help someone, they will get help, just like you and everybody before you have.
Hi, Chip. Sister
Hi,
Grace.
Sister Grace. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. We apparently we lost Sister Aisha.
Oh, we did. Oh,
We
shoot.
did.
Well, she had a